There are people who won't ask you to bleed for them, but they'll hand you the knife and look away. They don't always speak with words. They speak with expectations, with guilt, with silence that punishes and smiles that deceive. Carl Jung taught that what remains unconscious in us becomes fate. But for many people, rather than face themselves, they'd rather mold you. So beware, because not all wounds come from enemies. Some come dressed as lovers, friends, family, and the cost isn't always obvious. It shows up slowly, in fatigue, in resentment, in the quiet moments you can't even recognize your own reflection. This is why you must stay away from people who ask for these 5 things, not just out loud, but through patterns, pressure, and presence. 1. They ask you to be the caretaker of their chaos. They break things and hand you the pieces. They want your help fixing the mess they refuse to stop creating. They tell you they just need support. But what they really need is someone to outsource the cost of their irresponsibility. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So instead of self-reflection, they assign you the role of savior. But rescuing someone from a storm they keep choosing isn't compassion, it's codependency. You weren't born to carry the emotional labor of those who refuse to grow. You were born to protect your energy for the people and places that honor it. 2. They ask you to shrink so they can feel bigger. They mock your goals, dismiss your progress, call your confidence arrogance, but they don't hate your light. They hate their own shadows, the ones your growth exposes. Carl Jung believed every person carries a shadow self, the disowned parts of our psyche. But rather than face their inferiority, they try to shrink what's brilliant in you. They joke about your ambition. They belittle your wins because your success disrupts their comfort. Your evolution reminds them that they've stayed the same. Don't fall for it. Don't dim your light just because it gives someone else a headache. You were not meant to live small, so others feel safe. Your greatness is not a threat, it's a mirror. And what they see in that mirror is their responsibility to confront, not your burden to suppress. 3. They ask you to be their emotional dumping ground. They vent, they complain, they cry, and then they leave, feeling better, while you're left feeling exhausted. This isn't connection, it's energetic theft. Real intimacy isn't about being used as a sponge for someone's pain. It's about being seen, supported, and reciprocated. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But people who avoid that self-understanding will use others as mirrors and punching bags. They don't want empathy. They want escape. They want relief from their emotional mess, but not accountability. Protect your emotional energy like sacred land, because not everyone who wants access deserves it. You can be kind without being a container. You can listen without being their landfill. 4. They ask you to stay silent about what hurts you. Don't bring it up. Don't ruin the moment. You're too sensitive. Sound familiar? These people want harmony, but only on their terms. They label your truth as drama, your discomfort as negativity. But Jung warned, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. So when you bring truth to the surface, they panic. Not because you're wrong, but because you remind them of everything they've buried. You must never abandon your voice to protect someone else's illusion of peace. Silence may keep the room calm, but it makes your soul scream. Your feelings deserve air. Your truth deserves space, and your boundaries deserve to be respected, not negotiated. 5. They ask you to betray yourself, slowly, quietly, repeatedly. This is the hardest one to spot, because it doesn't come as one big demand. It comes as death by 1,000 small compromises. Change how you speak. Don't hang out with them. Why do you always have to do that? It feels like love, but it's not. Jung understood that when we give up our individuality to preserve a relationship, we lose both the relationship and ourselves. They don't want the real you. They want the version they can control, predict, and own. That's not intimacy. That's imprisonment. Real love invites your truth. It doesn't punish it. It makes room for your voice. It doesn't silence it. Final reflection. So what do you do with this knowledge? You build boundaries, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. You recognize the red flags, not as warnings for them, but as wake-up calls for yourself. You understand that people asking you to sacrifice your peace, your values, your energy, are not your people. Carl Jung's wisdom was never about avoiding the world. It was about awakening in it, seeing clearly, choosing wise.